Hello, everyone.
Welcome to our Back to School Live. We're so excited to have you guys here.
We sure are. We have so much exciting stuff coming up that we want to tell you about. Just FYI, Cathy is a little pixelated because she's living her best life and traveling the world, and we're all very jealous. But yes, that's why.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of Zion National Park. So if I glitch or cut out, I'm super sorry about that. But Meris and I are so excited tonight to share some advice and guidance for going back to school, whether you're a new student or, coming back after a couple semesters. And in addition, we're going to be announcing several giveaways during our broadcast. And we're going to be letting you know about several specials on our website as well for our product. So lots to talk about today for sure.
Yes, absolutely. So right off the bat, we want to highlight just a couple of offers that we have right now for you. And one of them being that the ultimate bundles. So if you have heard us talk about it, like we just think this is the coolest thing. If you have our flashcards, that's the best way to learn the material that you need to know for your whole nursing school and nursing career. That's where we cover the juicy details and all of the stuff you got to know. And then we have our actual Nurse Squad card games, and these are perfect for helping you to test your knowledge, to review what you have learned, and to make sure that you do accurately understand what you are learning. But also, it's a really fun way to do it and to trick your brain into thinking that you're not studying, and to bring to study groups and hang out with your friends. So we are really excited about that, and we have a bunch of great games right now. We've got Peds, Med-Surg, Maternity, and the other one, Pharmacology. And so those are available right now. And so right now you can get free shipping with the purchase of any Ultimate Bundle, which is amazing. So you can definitely check that out right now. Let's see here.
And if you guys can hear me, and hopefully you can hear me, I want to welcome Judith, who is a new member. So welcome, Judith. We're so happy to have you as part of our membership. And Jonathan's asking if we are nurses. Yes, we are nurses.
We sure are.
Yeah. So I'm a certified wound care nurse and a public health nurse. Meris, you want to tell them all of your qualifications here?
I am board certified ER and trauma nurse, and so I work in the ER trauma setting, which is super fun.
Yep. And so Christian is asking if we have any tips. They are incoming first year. Yes, we are here to offer lots of guidance and tips for people who are starting nursing school. So we can kind of go through some of those tips and answer your questions. And then as we go along, we'll do some giveaways and stuff like that too, if that sounds good.
It sounds really good to me.
So one of the first things we wanted to talk about is reading your book. Like, so if you're like any other nursing student, you were given a humongous stack of nursing books. And if you're like most nursing students, you start on that chapter 1, page 1, and you have every intention of reading your entire book. But the bottom line is it's actually not really feasible to do that. Even if you didn't sleep, eat, or do anything else, you literally would not have enough hours in the day to get all the reading done in your books. Right, Meris?
Yeah. And also, the thing too about textbooks is, and listen, if you're a nursing instructor right now and you're like screaming, I understand, but your textbook is all of the information, and no one in that textbook is showing you what the tiny details are versus like the big stuff you got to know. And so personally for me, when I would read the textbook, I would get so bogged down by all the teeny tiny details that I couldn't see the forest for the trees. And so not only was it like not a good use of my time because there's not enough hours in the day to read all of that, but also it wasn't a good use of my time because I wasn't learning what I needed to learn from it. And so that just didn't really work for me.
Totally. So there are better ways, like your textbooks are totally valuable and you want to have them and you will need to refer to them when you are
Yes.
confused by anything, when you need more detail about certain things, then absolutely you need to go to your textbook. But if you struggle, like a lot of nursing students do, on knowing what to focus on, what is the most important stuff that you need to know and you need to focus on, then our resources can really help you. Our flashcards are designed to kind of like get all the fluff out and really like hone in on the things that are most important. And then if you watch our videos along with the flashcards, you're going to get the things that matter most. And it's really, really going to help you. And if you review our flashcards and watch our videos before you go into the classroom to hear your instructor teach that information, then you're going to be able to learn that information at a whole nother level because it's not going to be the first time that you're hearing those things. So
Yes.
in that way, our resources can really help you learn more effectively in the classroom and really just focus your time, really.
Yeah, and for those YouTube videos, I don't know about you guys, but like when I was in class, if my professor would say something and they would tell me a story that went along with it, like one time I saw this patient who, or like when I think of this, I think of whatever. I always remembered it better, and that's what Kathy and I do in those videos. You know, people comment a lot on the maternity videos that I did because I share a lot of like super embarrassing stories from when I was pregnant or, you know, whatever that, but it truly helps you to like kind of cement that information. So having the flashcards along with watching the videos, I think is like a perfect combination. And also it brings me to like my favorite thing, which is this idea of passive studying. And if you have ever heard me talk about studying, you have heard me talk about this, but this is how I studied in nursing school. I found Cathy Parkes Level Up RN when I was in my first year. And I incorporated the flashcards and the YouTube videos into my studying. But just like Kathy said, there's not enough hours in the day. And when you think of studying, people often think of sitting down at their desk and putting their books in front of them and like focusing and, you know, that sort of stuff. And that's great. And you need to do that too. But I found that incorporating this information into my day-to-day life was paramount to helping me review and retain that material. So what I would do was I would listen to those YouTube videos while I was driving to school, listen to them, not watch them, while I was driving to school, while I was
Yes, don't
taking
do
a
that.
shower, while I'm folding laundry, while I'm making dinner, you know, all of that stuff. I'm listening to Kathy in the background telling me about rifampin, you know, telling me about community health nursing, whatever it was, so that I was constantly getting that sort of passive exposure. And I even though I wasn't listening all the way, I was still like, oh, right. Yeah, I remember that. So I really like, I stand by passive studying as a supplement to your active studying with Level Up for sure.
Totally. And another thing that you guys have probably heard me talk about too, but was a big thing for me. So exercise for me was so important during nursing school. It continues to be important for me, for my mental health, for my physical health. And I didn't really want to forego that in nursing school. And that's where flashcards really lend themselves well to be able to take like 20 flashcards and go for a walk. Right. So I'm getting my exercise in. I'm also getting my studying in. And I also found that reviewing my material on the flashcards while I was exercising helped that information to sink in so much better in my head than if I was just sitting still reviewing that information, which I did that too, right? I took my cards with me to the kid pickup line to pick up my kids at their elementary school. I took them to the doctor's office, you know, to sit there in the waiting room while I'm waiting for my appointment, pretty much everywhere. So yeah, you just really multitasking, you know, being able to fit studying in while you're doing other things in your life is going to really help you a lot in nursing school for sure.
Yeah, it's all about that exposure too. Just with anything, the more times you hear something, the more it's going to stick. And that for me is like one of the biggest things is understanding what we call the forgetting curve. And the forgetting curve is something that is known and studied. And your brain is an organ that receives a bazillion types of sensory input at all times, right? Right now, I'm getting sensory input about what the temperature is like, the feel of the clothes on my skin, the lights, all of these different things. And my brain is going to forget most of this stuff, right? So after about 24 hours of hearing something for the first time, if you don't review it, you will forget about 50% of it. So one of the things that I just harp on to students all the time is within 24 hours of hearing it for the first time, you must remind your brain that, hey, this is important and I want to remember it by reviewing that stuff. So that again is, like Cathy said, reviewing it with the videos, or looking at your notes, or looking at your flashcards, whatever it may be, but something to say, hey brain, remember we learned this yesterday, or we learned this early this morning, and it's important, don't forget it. So important.
Totally. And you were talking earlier, Maris, about the Nurse Squad card game, which you have that I
Yeah.
don't have with me on the road here. But these card games were developed by nursing instructors. Like, we have nursing instructors, so meaning the people who write the tests for nursing school help to develop these cards. So they focus on the most important stuff that you are likely to get tested on in nursing school. So the Nurse Squad card game is a great way to review the information you just heard in school, that maybe you just heard in our videos or reviewed in the flashcards. And it's a lot more fun than other ways to review stuff as well.
Can I show you guys something really exciting?
Yes, let's see. Oh, they're all here.
Oh! I don't know if you caught that. I don't know if you caught that. Look, so new that I haven't taken the cellophane off 4 of them.
Totally. Totally. So we have all the subjects covered for Nurse Squad. So
and
you
Nurse
guys
Squad
might
is
be
coming very soon for the last 4 subjects. It's going to be so
Totally.
soon. I'm so excited to share it with you.
Totally. So we have 4 subjects available now, with 4 more coming very soon. So what do you say, Maris? Should we give away an ultimate bundle? So explain what an ultimate bundle is for those who are just joining.
So if you're just joining us, or you weren't listening the first time, which is cool too, because I got ADHD, I know how it goes. The ultimate bundle is our flashcard paired with the corresponding Nurse Squad card game. So for instance, if you're in maternity right now, the ultimate bundle would be our maternity flashcards and the maternity Nurse Squad card game. That way you can learn the material and review that material with the flashcards, get into the nitty gritty, all of that kind of stuff. And then you can test your knowledge, you can quiz yourself, you can see how you're stacking up against your peers, you can play with your friends, whatever you want to do with the Nurse Squad study card game. So the 2 of those together are the ultimate bundle. And I think we would love to give somebody the ultimate bundle of their choice. But I know that not everybody is currently in one of the classes that we have the bundle for. So right now we have maternity, peds, pharmacology, and med-surg available. So if you are interested in winning one of those ultimate bundles, do me a favor and drop in the comments just the word bundle. And that way we will know who to pick from. And our amazing off-screen magician goddess Angelina, she is going to put all of your names into a digital hat, and she will let us know who won. Oh my gosh,
Right.
so many bundles.
Yes, put bundle there if you want to win, and you will have a chance to win one. So we'll give everybody a minute or 2 to get their bundle comment in, so we know that you are interested, and then we'll give a couple more minutes to select a winner while we talk about other stuff, if that sounds good.
And as a reminder, if you don't win, you can still get your ultimate bundle from our website and get free shipping on it right now, which is super exciting. And not to brag or anything, but we kind of have super fast shipping anyway. You wouldn't believe it. So you don't want to miss out.
Totally. 2 to 3 days, sometimes 1 day. If you live really close To California, it's like 1 day. Worst case, it's usually like, as you know, 3 days is usually the max, unless you're like
Yeah.
super far away. But it's everything goes out USPS priority shipping, so it is really, really quick.
Martha
Okay.
asked this question. I just have to say, Martha, have you ever thought about being a flight nurse? Is what she asked. And yes, Cathy and I talked about this not too long ago. I absolutely have thought about being a flight nurse, except for my husband said, "No way, Jose." He said, "There's no way you're getting on a helicopter with our 2 small children being at home."
Yeah, I mean, and I can respect that, right? Like there's
I
so much
know.
exciting about that, and it's such a big deal. But yeah, it's probably scary for the family for
I
sure
know.
with you
But
guys
gosh, I
doing
would
that.
love to do it.
So I know some of you are just starting off, some of you are like coming back after, maybe in the middle of your program. Let's talk about maybe how to like get organized, how to really stay on top of your schedule. For those of you who are planner people, we have an amazing planner. Do you have your planner there, Maris?
Of course I do. I'm always prepared with a planner at all times.
Okay. Totally. So some of you are not into like a paper planner. You may do something digitally, but this planner is amazing in so many ways. We had a live where we talked all about the planner, but
Oh yeah.
um, this
Yeah, the
is
planner,
this will
like,
help you stay organized for sure.
and this is all our best thinking on the stuff that you need to stay organized. Like, this wasn't just Maris going, "This is what I think." It's the whole nurse team putting input in on, like, "This is what I wish I had. This is what was important to me. This is where planners didn't stack up for me in the past." So we really, really, really like, this is the planner that we wish we had when we were in nursing school. And truly, you guys have heard me talk about this a lot. As someone who has ADHD and has an issue with time blindness and time management and things like that, this is for you if you have a similar issue. If you don't, this is still for you. That's the amazing part, is that every little tip and trick that I learned to help me along the way as a neurodiverse nursing student will also help you even if you don't have ADHD. So I really I just can't say enough about how much it means to me when I see your comments and your reviews of the planner saying stuff like how this is the ultimate planner, this is the one. It's like, it makes our heart so happy, because truly, I mean, first of all, look at this cute little chicken eating his Valentine's Day candy. I can't even stand it. But we made the problem with planners is that it needs to be made for what you need it for. And the one that you go
Mm-hmm.
buy off the rack at the store is great if you're just kind of trying to plan your regular life. But if you have things going on, nursing school, clinicals, simulations, labs, family, work, all of that stuff, you need somewhere to be able to plan that stuff. And that's what we gave you. We gave you space to figure out your assignments that are due, what tests and quizzes are coming up, what stuff do you have going on in your personal life, what additional tasks do you have to complete, your lab simulations and clinical schedule, all the stuff that you need to know about your future assignments, any other habits or goals you want to track. We've got daily stuff here for you. But of course, because it's level up, we can't help but be extra. We also have our reference pages right here. So our reference pages are the thing that I think is the coolest about this. We thought about what's the stuff that we're looking up all the time? What's the stuff like lab values, for instance? Oh my God, I can't remember these liver function test lab values to save my life. No worries, we got them right here for you. We've got everything through maternity, fundamentals. We have like these super great graphics and illustrations. I'm a huge fan of this. And the new planner, we put in some more information, including nutrition, psychiatric mental health, and leadership. So we did our best to flesh it out and make it as awesome as possible to get you through nursing school.
And it's all in that reference tab at the end of the planner. It's super easy to get straight to all the information that you need. So the planner is fabulous.
Uh-oh. All right. We lost Cathy for the moment. We'll see. But yes, it is a piece of heavenly organization. Oh, is she back?
I'm back. And I'm so sorry for my connectivity. It's total bummer. Can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Or
Listen, we'll
somewhat
take as
okay?
much Cathy as we can get, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Okay. So one thing I want to mention, especially for my new nursing students out there, we don't want to study in big, long marathon sessions, right? Research shows that if you can break up your studying into several hours over multiple days of the week, you're going to retain the information way better than if you like, oh, well, I'll just study for 12 hours on Saturday. You're just not going to absorb and retain that information. Also, in terms of your schedule, like how you're planning out your time, it's my personal recommendation, and something I like to do in nursing school is get some of those papers or projects or assignments kind of out of the way earlier in the schedule, because what you'll find is sometimes you'll have exams, you know, stacked on top of care plans, stacked on top of papers, kind of all due around the same time. So if you can knock out some of those assignments and papers early, that you can focus on studying for your exams later, that always worked well for me. And I'm not sure how much of any of that y'all heard, but
We
that would
heard
be my
you.
advice. If sorry, did it get the gist of that advice? I hope.
100%. Yes, totally. And
Okay,
Cathy's absolutely
awesome.
right. That idea of marathon studying is not going to work. Your brain cannot handle that. My brain can't handle that chunk of time doing anything, right? If you think about like just being at work, right? If I'm doing something for Level Up RN, I'm not sitting down for 5 straight hours and just like nonstop working on it. I'm getting up, I'm stretching my legs, I'm getting some water, right? Those sorts of things. You can't just sit in marathon studying. You're wasting your own time by doing it. So break it up. I tell you guys all the time, when I was in school, I did 30 minutes with breakfast, 30 minutes with lunch, and an hour before bed was my everyday schedule of studying. So every day I was getting at least 2 hours of studying in, but it wasn't like this huge thing where I was having to like sit down and carve out 2 hours of time. I was spreading it out throughout the day, which again is another way to remind your brain that this stuff is important. Don't forget it. So yes, absolutely.
Totally. And
Sorry,
then
Angelina is
just some.
pulling a name right now.
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna get our winner of our ultimate bundle soon. But the other giveaway we are gonna give, since we were talking about the planner, and this is our back to school extravaganza, is we are going to give away a planner as well today. So some of you mentioned you have the planner, you love it, it's awesome. So if you don't have the planner and are interested in winning planner, then comment with planner. Should we do that? Because
That
that
works.
way, Angelina. Okay.
Yep, if
So,
you want to win a planner, just drop the word planner in the comments right now. We know that not everybody wants to win the same stuff, and we totally get it, and we want to make sure that we're giving stuff to the people who want it. Oh my goodness.
yep.
You guys
Yep.
make me so
Okay. So
happy.
while you guys are doing that, and while Angelina's picking our winner for the ultimate bundles, I did want to give some advice on lifestyle habits as well. So no all-nighters, right? Like you need your sleep, and staying up all night or into the wee hours of the morning is whatever you're reading or studying, it's not going to serve you nearly as well as a complete night's sleep so that you can think well for your exams and in class. So I worked hard when I was in nursing school. I worked a lot of hours, but I always got my sleep because sleep is just super important for me. And I feel like it's super important for everybody. And if you don't get enough sleep, you're not going to think as clearly or as sharply, and you're not going to make great decisions. And you're probably not going to do as well on your exam. So absolutely get sleep. You want to make sure you are eating, right? Like you are consuming food, hopefully that is decently nutritious. You're not skipping meals and eating trash all the time, because if you eat trash all the time, you're not gonna feel well. So I know it's hard to do that when you're kind of juggling everything, but as you know, if you can eat decently, it's gonna help you and your brain function better for sure.
Yes.
And then Exercise is the other thing. And like I mentioned earlier, I would take my flashcards on a walk, and that helped me get my exercise and my studying done at the same time. But whatever method of exercise you're into, it's going to help your brain function better. It's going to help you be in, better physical shape. And I would definitely highly recommend trying to stick with some kind of exercise program if you can through nursing school.
Yeah.
And like I said, just try to do the multitasking thing, study and exercise at the same time. I brought my cards and went on the elliptical machine at the gym. Whatever it is you need to do, your body will thank you and your brain will thank you if you're able to keep the exercise up.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. And Kathy and I know we both stand by the fact, like both of us, we were sleep the night before an exam people. I
Mhm.
cannot stress strongly enough how much it truly negatively impacts you when you don't have that sleep. And the other thing is, and you guys, like, you might know this from my personal Instagram and all of that, but I've talked about it for Level Up too. My other thing is this idea of confidence and dress well, test well. There are studies that show that dressing as though you, like, if you put forth a confident persona in the way that you dress, that you will perform better. So when I was in nursing school, I took it to a different level and I started wearing black to my exams because I figured if I'm going to kill an exam, the least I can do is wear black to its funeral. And so I started doing that, and my friend group started doing that. And every night before an exam, we would text each other to remind one another, hey, don't forget to wear black to the funeral tomorrow. And that was a thing that we did. And I went all the way, like I took the NCLEX wearing black. Like that was just, for me, it was this
I love
idea, like
it.
this sort of mental shift of being like, I'm ready to tackle this exam. And it just gave me that little extra boost that I needed to get through the anxiety, the test anxiety that I always had. So whatever it is that makes you feel confident and successful, whether that's wearing black or something else, go for it. It's awesome. It's game changing.
All right. I think we have a bundle winner, right?
Oh,
Do we have a
okay.
bundle winner? Let's see who it is.
Sorry, hang on.
Angelita, do we have a winner? I'm not totally clear.
Sorry, there's so many messages. I'm having a hard time keeping up.
I think the win is, it looks like, oh, I hate to say the name
Ima?
if it's not it. Okay, that's for
Ima.
Ima. IMMA. Ima is the winner of an ultimate bundle. So congratulations, Ima, on that. And like I said, if you didn't win, you can still go get the bundles. You get free shipping. We have that great promotion going on our website right now too. So definitely check that out.
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm not sure if we have the planner winner yet, but Angelina will let us know when that is ready.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit, while we're waiting for that, let's talk a little bit about practice exams in nursing school and why they are so important, how to take them properly. So the first piece of advice I have is really don't wait till right before your exam to start taking practice exams, right?
Yep.
So I would start it as early as possible in your semester, and especially if you are new to nursing school. Nursing style exams are really different than the other types of exams that you have likely taken for your prerequisite classes. And it really takes practice in order to get good at nursing style exams. So when I was in nursing school, I literally took well over, I don't know, probably a couple hundred, and I'm not even exaggerating, practice exams. And I got really good at taking exams because I took all those practice exams. You learn the types of questions that will be asked. You get a feel for how they want you to answer those questions. Also, it's a great way to study. So Maris, you want to share how you did with practice exams, how you built like your study guide from that?
Yes, absolutely. So exactly what Kathy said, I would find a lot of times that I would know the information, but I would like think, what could they ask me about this? Like, this seems so easy. Like, what are they going to ask me that's so hard? And then I would get the practice test and be like, oh God, like, I don't know, like, oh, that's really difficult. I'm glad that I looked at that. And Cathy said too, like, don't wait. And I say, like, don't wait in your class, but don't wait in school in general. I always thought for some reason that practice exams were like a thing you did like towards NCLEX. Absolutely not. Like, you need to be doing like day one, because those nursing school, those nursing test questions are different from anything else that you've ever done, and you can practice and perfect them. So definitely, like, it is a skill. Like, you're gonna get some stuff right just because you know it, and you're gonna get some other stuff right because you know how to take the test. So what I would do is I use practice tests as a way to highlight the things that I was weak on. So I would remember that taking practice exams is studying. That is studying. People seem to sort of think that it's not. You are studying by taking practice tests. So first of all, do that as part of your studying. Second of all is I would keep a running list. I had a Google Doc open at all times, and I would take, like, depending on what kind of a class it was, I would do like 50 to 150 questions in a week. And I would write down as I was doing it what I was missing. So let's say, this is the example I use all the time, brachytherapy. Y'all, I missed every single question I got ever in nursing school and brachytherapy. I don't know why. It was just, it's my blind spot. So if that's what I was missing, I was writing that down in the Google Doc. And then let's say I missed another question, I'm going to kind of like make a little outline format and be like, brachytherapy, patient teaching. The next thing will be like, patient safety, like whatever the thing is that I'm missing. Or let's say it's pharmacology and it's like, I'm constantly missing rifampin patient teaching. I'm going to write that out. Now I have a study guide, and I can stop wasting my time studying the things that I already know, because we like doing that because we know it and it's comfortable and familiar and we can show ourselves how smart we are. You need to study the stuff you don't know. And that sounds so obvious, but it's one of those things that I sometimes have to tell students, like, stop wasting your time studying the stuff you already know. Get to the stuff you don't. Here's a list. Here's the list you have just built out, and keep it for the whole semester. Keep it for all of nursing school. You can always come back to that and see those things that were hard for you. And when you're studying for your exit exam, for instance, you should absolutely be studying this way and making yourself a list so that you can really hone in on the stuff that you're weak on.
And just as a reminder, when you're taking your practice exams, don't like fly through them like, oh, check. Whether you got the problem right or wrong, you want to carefully read all of the rationales and explanations for each answer choice, even if you got the problem right, because chances are some of those explanations and rationales will show up on another test question.
Undoubtedly.
And if you see like the same like rationale or topic being covered repeatedly in your practice exams, chances are it's going to show up on your proctored exam as well. And so if you read all those things carefully, build out your study guide and focus on those items, you're going to do great on your nursing exams. It's really, really going to help you.
And someone asked, like, where do you find these practice questions? And that's a great question. The first thing is that you want to check with your school, because you may have access to practice questions. Like, if your school is an ATI school, you may be able to access those practice questions. You may have practice questions in your textbook that you can use. There are books out there that are literally just books of questions. HESI, there's all kinds of apps and websites. Yep. So I would say start with your school, see what they have to offer that you've already paid for as part of your tuition, and then go from there. When you are NCLEX prepping, all of those things that Cathy just said, there's Kaplan, there's UWorld, there's all of those things, and they are all differently priced, and so see kind of what's out there on the market for you. Archer Review, there's a whole bunch. But yes, definitely see what your school has to offer first, because you never know.
Okay, and so I am told that IMA won the ultimate bundle. Reach out to us at support@leveluprn.com. Let us know that you were the winner and which ultimate bundle you want. Okay, out of the 4 that are available. And Angelina is still working on the winner of the planner. So we'll give her a little while longer to work on that while we answer some of your questions. And also talk a bit more. We've talked about practice exams. Let's talk a bit, if this sounds good, Maris, about dose calculations, because often dose calc tests are taken at the beginning of almost every semester in nursing school. And if your school was like mine and like many others, you have to have a pretty high passing score in order to move on in your program. That was the case with your school, right?
Oh yes, it was the thing we did on day one. I think it was the second part of fundamentals for us. On day one, we started with a med calc test, and you had to pass it with a certain number. But also, I don't know about your school, but we had dosage calculation questions on every exam as well. So you didn't have to get it right, like in order to continue in the program, but they're free points up for grabs because you didn't have to have any knowledge about like the material. You just had to be able to do the math. And so for me, I got so excited when I would see dosage calc questions.
Oh yeah, you're like 3 points.
So I was like, let's get those points, baby.
Totally. Our goal for you, our goal for all of you is we want to help you master dosage calculation so that you too get excited when you see those type of questions on your exam, because you know you will nail it. So you can save your points that you'll miss for some rando drug or crazy question thrown your way that like right, that like nobody talked about or whatever. But for dose calculation, we want you to get 100% on your exam. So if you guys aren't familiar, we held up same time. If you aren't familiar with our dosage calculation workbook, this book is amazing. And it goes from like easy stuff all the way to like, let's say easy stuff like metric system conversions or converting between the household metric system, all the way to more critical care type things, all the way to the last chapter where we talk about heparin titration, insulin drips. So this is a book that will take you throughout your nursing program and into your nursing practice.
And these things that we pulled for the critical care, heparin titration, insulin titration, these are all from like real world like order sets that exist out there in the world. Because I don't know about you, Cathy, but I never got to see stuff like that in clinicals. I never got to see, I mean, like I saw patients on heparin drips, but like insulin titration is like another world. And then stuff like you know, in the ER, we're starting people on pressors, we're having to titrate sedation, all of that kind of stuff. And that was daunting for me as you know, a baby ER nurse. So if that's you, if you are thinking like, I want that real world experience, this is as close as we can get you to being in the room with us titrating stuff. But this is all real world. And we did this so that you can have this book from your pre-nursing school days, when you're in chemistry or when you're in algebra, whatever that like first class is that you have math in. We've got you all the way through to practice, all the way through your actual clinical practice. We've got your back in this one book. Oh no, did I lose you, Cathy? Oh,
I'm back.
There she is.
Oh my God. Okay. So someone needs to reach out to Elon Musk and tell him my Starlink is not working correctly right now. Okay, can someone do that? Okay, so not only does this book really cover all of the topics you're going to need in nursing school and beyond, probably the coolest thing about this book is with the purchase of a book, you get the online companion resource where I personally go through all the example problems from this book on my whiteboard, explaining how to set up equations, why I set it up that way. I talk you through every one of the example problems in this book. So there's probably 4 dozen videos or so where I go through all of the stuff. So if you're the type of person who learns best through like auditory, visual, if you're a visual learner, then those videos are going to be really, really helpful as well. And if you're getting ready for school, right now we have an offer on our website for everybody, 50% off the dose calculation workbook with the purchase of our NCLEX pack or our ANS pack. So that's our advanced nursing suite. So if you are gearing up to do dosage calculation, which almost everyone does at the beginning of their semester, and if you struggle at all with math, we're here for you. We want you to feel comfortable and confident. And I just know that this workbook and our videos will totally help you get there and feel really good about your skills.
And somebody said somewhere along the way, like, I need a math tutor. And let me just say that, like, this is the closest you're going to get to be able to have, like, Cathy Parkes actually, like, tutor you in math, because she just, I can't tell you how great it is. You just have to see. We have all of these videos of her going through and showing you in 3 different ways how to set it up. If you're a ratio and proportion person like me, I don't mess with dimensional analysis. We just don't get along. So I'm ratio and proportion. She shows you how to do that. If you're dimensional analysis, don't worry. She shows you how to do that. And if you're a formula person,
formula method,
she shows you how to do that. So
totally.
It is an incredible resource. And like I said, this is the one book to get you through from before day 1 of nursing school all the way through until you are practicing clinically as a nurse. It is pretty awesome.
For sure. And someone asked here, do you guys have LPN stuff like this all the same? So yes, our resources help both RN students as well as LPN students because there's a huge amount of overlap between those programs. However, it's so important to remember your scope of practice. So there's going to be some information that is not going to be applicable to LPNs, but in general, most of the concepts and facts that you have to know in nursing school, it's the same across RN programs or LPN programs. So really all of our materials will help LPN students as well.
Absolutely.
Any help? Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. You're fine.
Oh, someone's asking, any help in pharmacology? We got you covered in pharmacology. We have our pharmacology flashcards. In addition to our pharmacology nurse squad, so there's that ultimate bundle, which will totally help you kick butt in pharmacology. And we have a complete YouTube video playlist where I go through all of the medications that are in the pharmacology flashcards and tell you because I'm all about the silly tips and tricks and weird ways to remember medication names and what it's for. Like that's kind of what I'm known for. In addition to butchering some medication names occasionally, but that's, but you're going to remember it. Let's see. Oh, so Ima, I have the dosage calculation book and you love it. I'm so excited that you love it. That was a huge undertaking for our team. And we just put so much effort and heart and just, we just wanted to make it perfect for nursing students. So we're so excited that you like it.
So one of the things that we had on our list from things people put in on Instagram wanting to talk about is clinicals. This is like, if you might be at the point in your nursing school career where you're getting ready to start clinicals, and this is always something that gets everyone all squicked out. They're just everyone's a bundle of nerves and, oh my God, what do I do? And what do I take? And what do I need to know? And all of that kind of stuff. And so for sure, I want, this is kind of the thing Cathy, knows, this is the hill I will die on, is that you need to lower your expectations of what the purpose of clinicals are. All nursing students seem to think that clinicals mean I'm going to show up and I'm going to do every IV, I'm going to start every NG tube, I'm going to do all the Foleys, I'm going to be basically the nurse, right? And you're not. And that's okay because you're not ready for that yet. The point of clinicals is twofold. The first is to expose you to talking to other human beings. And that sounds silly, but if you have not worked in healthcare, it can be incredibly awkward to have these conversations with people and their families. And you guys know we talk all the time about therapeutic communication. It's a thing that comes up over and over again. There's test questions about it, like all that kind of stuff, because it's so important. And so use your time in clinicals to practice how to talk to human beings who are in your care, how to reassure them, how to get at the root of what their concerns are, how to do patient education, all of that good stuff. And then the second thing that you should be focusing on, like this is the purpose of being in clinical, is improving your assessment skills, because you are learning in health assessment or fundamentals or whatever class it is for you. You learn how to assess your patients, but the way it is in a like clinical or I'm sorry, like in a lab environment when you're like practicing on each other and stuff is very different from what it's like in the real setting. And you are almost all going to be healthy individuals practicing on other healthy individuals. That's not setting you up for what the actual findings are. So use that time in clinical to listen to the heart murmurs, to hear what it sounds like when somebody has crackles, to really find out what it is to have pitting edema, those sorts of things. Get really good at your assessment skills. It is not about doing skills. If you get to do skills, that is awesome. And by all means, like jump on that opportunity, take that opportunity. It's great. But the skills you need, you will learn when you are on the job. I promise you. I promise you. Because the skills that I need as an ER trauma nurse are vastly different from the skills that Cathy needs as a wound care nurse. And so it's unreasonable to expect that you're going to just graduate from nursing school all done and dusted when it comes to your skills. You're probably not going to do very many in clinicals, and that's okay.
Right. So you just have to lower those expectations. At the same time, we do understand that you need to get checked off on your skills, as your clinical skills at school. And we're here to help you with that as well. We do have a clinical skills flashcard deck, which kind of boils down the key steps you need to follow for each of the skills you're going to need to get checked off on. And Ellis, one of our rock star nurses and nursing instructors on our team, has a video playlist where they go through the like key skills that sometimes trip students up, such as tracheostomy care, NG tube insertion, Foley catheter insertion. So Ellis is just super cool and laid back. She's like the instructor that everybody wishes they had, because they're super knowledgeable but patient, and they communicate in a really straightforward, easy to listen way. So if you're nervous about getting your checked up on skills, definitely check out our clinical skills deck and check out our videos on YouTube for also, a lot of those skills.
If you're on TikTok, check us out on TikTok, because Ellis and I both have been doing some like clinical skills and tips that aren't necessarily like, here's how to insert a Foley catheter, but things like I show in a video, like why sometimes you can't advance the catheter on an IV and like how to fix that. Ellis has a thing on like how to open ampules without cutting yourself, little things like that, where it's like, it's not that you need to know it for an exam, but it'll help you in real practice.
Totally. Hey, and while just to kind of get take us to the side for a sec, the winner of our planner is Catherine D. So Catherine D, you're the winner of a planner. If you can reach out to us at support@leveluprn.com, then we will get that off to you. And we do have one more big giveaway coming up. But I did want to remind you guys, because I think Angelina's ready to like pull her hair out. When you are signing up, like when you're putting in the comments that you would like to be part of the giveaway, just do it one time. Okay. So no duplicate entries.
And for this, for the physical giveaway, you have to be in the United States, because we're only able to ship within the US. So don't worry, we have not forgotten about our friends who are international, and we will be doing giveaways of our digital items too. Not tonight, but in the future, because we want to make sure that we can get stuff in everybody's hands. So yes, keep an eye out for that.
So I'm thinking that in order to give Angelina time to pick our winner for our last giveaway, that we ought to announce the last big giveaway now, give her time to figure out the winner. And then while she's doing that, we'll keep talking about some important other topics for back to school. How does that
Yes,
sound?
I agree.
Okay. So the last thing we are giving away, we're giving away so much tonight. First of all, like I love giving away stuff.
It's our
The
favorite.
last thing, yeah, totally. The last thing we're going to give away is our NCLEX pack. So our NCLEX pack is chock full of all the subjects you need to know in order to kill it in nursing school and pass the NCLEX. So pharm, med surg, peds, maternity, pharmacology. What else do we have?
Oh my
Maris, I
God.
don't have my
It's just
NCLEX
all of
pack
it.
with me.
Y'all,
Oh yeah,
it's so much.
psychiatric, mental health, nursing,
Health
everything you need.
it's just all of it. It's like all the great stuff. It's the
Okay.
greatest hits.
Totally. So if you would like to be eligible to win our NCLEX pack giveaway, then some of you are already doing it. You already know the drill. You put
You're like,
NCLEX pack in the comments. Everybody's already doing it. But just
one
once, okay?
time.
One time, or else Angelina gets super mad, and she's the one who's like randomly picking the winner, so we don't want to make Angelina mad.
We don't
Okay.
want to,
So
yeah.
so NCLEX pack, one time only, guys, if you want to win it. This is an amazing giveaway. And then while we're letting everybody do that, go ahead, Maris.
Yes. So there was a comment. Arthur asked about advice for his ED capstone in the fall. And I think that this is a great time to talk about just like general advice for clinicals, period. And so if you like, everybody's school is different, and some people get to do a preceptorship or like an externship where you're working one-on-one with a nurse. You're not in a clinical group so much, but you're like basically on, it's like kind of like a mini orientation. It's really cool. So if that is an option for you, absolutely go after it, apply for it, do whatever it is. Look also in the like general area where you live. Some hospitals offer this as a paid position, a nurse extern. So this is where you get to be a nursing student and work as an extern, and be paired with a working nurse. So look for that if you're interested in that, because that may exist in your city as well. But in general, for clinicals, you got to come prepared. So whatever that means for your school, whatever your uniform requirements are, anything that you have to have. But also, I always say, don't come over prepared. I like in my very first nursing clinical, I brought this like backpack with like my laptop and they told me like to bring my drug guide and like all of this stuff. I just was like carrying around like a turtle, like this huge backpack of garbage that I never once needed on the floor ever. So I brought essentially the bare bones. I brought myself in uniform, and for me, uniform meant like stethoscope, pen light, like all of the stuff that you had to have on you. I brought a water bottle, and I brought some small snacks to keep in my bag, and then I had a folding clipboard that I kept with me. And on the clipboard, I brought whatever my clinical assignment was, because typically it has to do with like the patient that you're caring for. So I could write down the labs, the diagnosis, previous medical history, whatever. Now, as a working nurse, let me tell you a couple of tips that I have for anybody, but especially if you're going into the ED. The first is get a pair of good trauma shears and put them on a badge reel. Oh my God. You think you don't need, like, as an ER nurse, I need shears all the time, but on the floor, you're like, I don't need shears. You do. You need them all the time. And people steal your shears. So first of all, I got myself a pair of, right, they don't steal mine either. I got myself a pair of custom-made sparkly rainbow glitter trauma shears that have my name on them. So first of all, everybody knows those are mine. And then second of all, I put them on a badge reel. I literally put a badge reel around the shear handle, and I clip the badge reel to my pocket, and I keep the trauma shears in my pocket. Now I can just pull it out. Like I just pull it from my pocket, cut whatever it is, and I can literally let go, and they'll just like snap back in place. But also nobody's going to take them from me. So that one is for sure. Like I say and do it for clinicals too. You will be everybody's favorite person if you have shears when it's needed. The second is get one of those little like pen light keychains, like the little ones that you just squeeze, and put it on your badge. Put it there, because I will never keep up with a pen light, but I have my badge on me at all times. So my favorite thing in the world is when a doctor, an attending will be like, does anyone have a pen light? And I'll be like, yeah, right here. And I just like pull my badge over, shine it in their eyes, whatever. You gotta have saline flushes in your pocket at all times. That's like
alcohol swabs ready to go,
and alcohol swabs ready to go. Yes.
Yep.
And then the last thing I would tell you is, whatever this means for you, because everybody has different anatomy, but get a good pair of shoes. The shoes that I wear may not be the ones that work for you. So figure out what makes sense for you, but a good physical foundation on your feet is going to help alleviate the foot, leg, hip, and back pain that comes along with 12-hour shifts, and get some good compression socks too.
And another piece of advice about clinicals too is you should use your clinicals as an opportunity to study as well, because each time you're picking a patient, you need to pick a patient with a different diagnosis. And guess what? You're going to learn a lot about that diagnosis. If you have a patient this week who has cirrhosis, you're going to learn all about cirrhosis, what causes it, what medications are used to treat it, etc. And then if you are back at clinicals, then make sure you pick a different type of patient, maybe a heart failure patient, or somebody with a fracture, something else, so that you can learn all about that diagnosis, all about the medications and treatment. And that in turn is going to help you on your exams in nursing school. So definitely use clinicals as an opportunity to study.
Yes. And if you know,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, if you know that you're weak in something, in my critical care course, I could not for the life of me understand ventilators. So I asked my clinical instructor, hey, is there a vented patient that I can take care of? So that way I can actually learn about these things. So if you have that opportunity, if you know, like, I'm really bad at this, I need to improve, ask your instructor, hey, can I get this kind of a patient? And oftentimes they'll be like, yeah, sure. If there's one of those, we'll make sure you get them,
Totally. And when you're at clinicals, this is something that totally worked for me. I would make friends with all the people there on the unit or on the floor. So I would talk to the secretary or other people there. And guess what? If the secretary is there answering call bells from the patients, and you've made buddies with them, you've been talking with them, they're like, hey, I've got a patient in there who needs a new IV or needs this going on. You want to go help? Right? They will totally, if you network and do that, then they'll be like, you want to do that? I'm like, yes, please let me do something. So, and then you can go in there and help. So definitely don't just be like, I can only talk to the nurse that I'm assigned to. Definitely, if it's possible, strike up a conversation with other people in the unit so that you can get exposed to other opportunities as well.
Side note, Martha said, I want to know what tattoos Meris has, and I feel like that would be a great video for our YouTube members. I can take you on a little tattoo tour and show you all of my cool.
And there's a lot.
There's a lot. There's more back here. Yeah. So I think that would be a great idea for our YouTube members. If you're not a YouTube member, you should totally sign up. There's like so much cool stuff. But totally. Yeah, I love that, Martha. I'm totally gonna do that.
So Meris will do a tattoo like like video, and I'll do one. I'll do a wig video, all my different wigs I use for my my skits. We'll do a little wig party for members too. So if you're a member, be on the lookout for that.
I love it.
And while we're waiting for Angelina to pick our NCLEX winner, I think she did, but we'll announce it in a minute. But I want to give you like one last piece of advice for nursing school. And that is, in nursing school, you are paying for nursing school, which makes you the customer, right? And it's going to be important for you to get out of nursing school what you need, because you paid for it. And so if you're not understanding something, if something's not clear, you need to ask. You need to ask for what you need. And chances are, if you're not understanding something, then there are probably plenty of other people in your class who are also not understanding something. So you need to really advocate for yourself. Make sure you're getting what you need, because you paid for the school, and some of you paid a lot for your school. The other thing I would advise you is just to be careful about burning any bridges in school as well. So my cohort in nursing school was super intense. Like, they would fight every single point. Like, if there was a test question and they didn't agree with the answer, and they would just fight it to the death, like just die on that hill. And in the end, it really didn't matter for their grade. Like they really like alienated the teacher and like kind of went crazy on this 1 or 2 points. And a lot of the teachers in these nursing programs are also working at the local hospitals and stuff like that. And so you need to really think carefully before you start burning bridges fighting for a point. There's definitely some questions I had where I'm like, I really don't agree with that answer or whatever, but I'm going to let it go. It's not worth it. You got to pick your battles, and those battles were not worth it. So that's my advice to some of you out there. Sometimes people can be a little intense and want to fight those points. A lot of times it's not going to be worth the fight.
And
So
by all means, advocate for yourself,
Totally.
don't, you should be your own advocate. I absolutely argued over questions where I was like, this is just the opposite of what it says in the book, or whatever. But if they pushed back and they, it's not worth it. And it's not worth it. These people are your professors for the whole program most of the time. They might be your clinical instructors. They might be your colleagues in the future. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Advocate for yourself, be professional,
Totally.
be kind, be respectful. But in the end, if it's not going to fail you, just let it go, move on.
Yeah, for sure. And nursing school is, as you guys know, who are in the middle of it, it's tough. And then for the new people coming in, it's hard, but you can do it. You just have to really be kind to yourself. You need to be patient with yourself. You are learning. And so you just got to give yourself a lot of grace. So please don't be so hard on yourself. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself and doing some positive self-talk. Nursing programs are tough, but I know you guys can do it. And that's what you need to be telling yourself too.
And genuinely,
you can do it.
From the bottom of our hearts, somebody said, there was a comment earlier that said, I'm new here. Are you guys related? First of all, I love that. We get that question all the time. We are not sisters, contrary to how much I wish we were. But we are sisters.
But we're very good friends. Yeah,
yes.
We're super good friends and team members.
Yes. Big time.
I am so lucky, and I think I might be glitching, but I am so blessed and lucky to be surrounded by the amazing nurses on Level Up RN's nurse team. We have a great connection. We work together so well. It's pretty awesome for sure.
Yeah, but this whole nurse team, we are a small group, but we genuinely, every single thing we do is with you in mind, and we want you to succeed where we may have struggled. And a lot of times you will hear well, because I went through this and it was hard, you have to go through it too. Absolutely not. That is not our philosophy. It's because I went through this, I want to make it easier for you. And that is our whole strategy and philosophy here. And we genuinely care about your success. So we know this is hard, but that's why in our dose calc book and in our nursing school planner, we have little pep talks every couple of pages. There's a little note from the nurse team. We wrote all of those. They're not from a generated thing. We sat down and thought of what we would say to nursing students. We want you to know that you are never alone, that it may feel very isolating in nursing school. And somebody said way earlier on, thank you for this. People make nursing school sound so scary. And people really do make it sound so scary in a way where I'm like, gosh, just because you struggle with that doesn't mean I'm going to, but we don't want that to be the culture of nursing school. We want you to to feel celebrated and supported. And so please know that genuinely from the bottom of our hearts, we are always here for you.
Totally here for you. We want to support you. We put out hundreds and hundreds of free videos on YouTube, tutorials and stuff on TikTok.
Blogs.
We do everything we can to support nursing students. That's what we're all about. Totally. So Meris, do you want to announce our NCLEX winner? Because we have a winner of the NCLEX pack.
Okay, so our NCLEX pack winner is Inda Yulia. And I'm going to put that here in the comments. And email support@leveluprn.com to claim your NCLEX pack. Yay!
Congratulations. So we've been having so much fun with all these lives, giving away stuff and just answering questions. We're super into this, and we have another live event coming up soon, don't we, Meris? When is that?
We sure do. It's next Wednesday, the 17th. Same bat time, same bat channel. You guys know the deal. But this one is going to be unlike anything we have ever done before. It's going to be so cool. So I'm sorry. I just have to do this again because it is so visually pleasing. We're going to be talking all things Nurse Squad. Look at that! I can't wait to see this on the bookshelf. We're going to be talking all things Nurse Squad, and we're going to be playing a game of
We're going to play Nurse Squad.
It's going to be Team Cathy versus Team Meris. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's going to be some pretty fierce competition. We are going to be, we are highly competitive. So
totally.
Team Meris had better bring it.
We're going to divide the group in half, probably alphabetically or somehow. And half of you are going to be on my team and half of you are going to be on Meris's team. And we're going to duke it out with some Nurse Squad. And it's going to be super fun. So we hope you guys can join us for that. And then we also have
Med Surge, by the way. It's going to be Nurse Squad Med Surge. So it's not going to be like super specific like maternity or whatever. We're trying to do Med Surge so that hopefully it'll be for like wherever you are, you probably had some experience with this. And yeah. So
and that way you can get a feel for the game, the Nurse Squad game, and also just have fun and learn some stuff along the way. So definitely check that out. And then after that, we've got another one of our happy hour
yes, our
live events.
Next happy hour, hang on, wait for it. So next week, Wednesday the 17th is Nurse Squad, and then happy hour hangout will be Friday the 26th. So Friday the 26th we'll be doing happy hour, so that's where we just hang out. We're going to, in that one, I think in particular, we're going to share some super embarrassing stories from our clinical practice, and that way hopefully you won't feel so alone. We have like some real doozies to tell you about, so that will be the theme of that happy hour.
Totally. And you can share your embarrassing stories as well in a safe space, because it's all because I don't care who you are. Everybody has like made like some crazy mistakes or things that are embarrassing. And that's just part of the learning process. So we're going to have fun with that during the happy hour. So, and if you guys, just one more time, if you're not a member on our YouTube channel, we invite you to be a member and kind of get some behind the scenes stuff going. We super appreciate all the support and love from our members. So congratulations to all our winners. Our last winner was Inda, right? Make sure you email support@leveluprn.com so we can get your information, get your NCLEX pack out to you. And I hope you guys can join us for our upcoming lives. We so appreciate you coming today. And I hope some of the advice that we gave, I know, totally. I just hope some of our advice that we gave you all today will be helpful for you in your, upcoming semester. And we wish you all the best with your upcoming semester. We know you guys will do great.
You're going to
be great nurses. Hang in there, okay?
You got this. It's going to suck until it doesn't. But when it does, we have your back. It's going to be fine. We got you.
Yes, absolutely. So don't be strangers, and we'll see you soon, okay? Take care, everybody.
Bye, friends.
All right, bye.